What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here. I'm back for another VOD review today. Look, Setsuko is back in NA. He has been streaming. He came back from the Macau Open. I guess he probably hopped on the first flight back here because I know some streamers feel like Robin and Emily, they're like, vacationing somewhere in Asia. And Setsuko is back in NA. He is back on solo queue. He is ready to grind it out. You guys already know how Setsuko is. And that is a treat for all of us because we get to watch Setsuko do some crazy stuff on ladder, beast it up. We'll see if he can reclaim his rank 1 that he is, known for always having. Right now, he is sitting at like 1300 LP going into the recording for this spot. I can move my head a little bit. 3.3 AVP, quite good for Setsuko. Not quite as, sometimes averaging a 2 or something like that, but still really, really good. And what I wanted to highlight in this game was, it's a very interesting little tech, a line that we know and love, and Setsuko immediately is going to go into it, grabs the Chem Baron crest immediately here, and oh my god. I mean, this is Setsuko. This is Setsuko playstyle if you've ever seen it. He rolls twice here to try to get the early Chem Baron in here. I gotta say, probably not correct. I think you could ask Setsuko and he would say this is probably, like, if he was in tournament, I doubt that he would have rolled twice there because, it's really important to get 3 Chem Baron in once you actually get to the 3 loss streak. The first 2 rounds, you're not getting that many stacks relatively. So yeah, probably a mistake from Setsuko, but he's having fun with it. And look, when Setsuko's having fun, when he's just doing stuff by feel, that is usually when he is popping off. So yes, this will be a Chem Baron game, and there's a specific really, really cool Chem Baron interaction that I want to talk about later this game. But we'll get to that once we actually get to Chem Baron items. For now, we're looking at just playing for loss streak, thinking about what items we want to make at some point, right? At a very further future state, because right now we really don't have to worry about what we want to make. I would think someone like Setsuko is looking more at something like a Nashor's here. The only problem with making Nashor's that it leaves a lot of awkward stuff open. Maybe go for like a Guardbreaker. I guess Guardbreaker GS is like an option. Thinking about playing into like Silco down the line with Chem Baron as your AP carry. But I mean, you'll see. We're going to make gold here. We're going to try to play our weakest board every single round. He's going to play, ooh, actually? He's playing a little bit of a board for now. I wonder, I mean, looking at the lobby, it does actually look like, wow, look at this from Setsuko. He's playing kind of a board here, doing his best to actually kill 1 unit. I think Setsuko is someone who I usually see just go for the full sack, but look at that. He actually gets rewarded here, picks up a unit. That's 1 HP that, might end up making a huge difference this game when you're someone like Chem Baron. So wow, I feel like I usually see Setsuko just full open because he absolutely does not want to win, because risking potentially winning a fight is not worth saving 1 HP. But, if you can continue to lose, it's huge here. All right. I mean, yeah, you have to go for the Smeech on carousel there. That is either Smeech or the other one, the Rennie, would be huge in this spot here just to get us to accelerating our Chem Baron cash out. Because Chem Baron's, it's an interesting cash out trait in that, like, the only real way of accelerating it is by just getting more Chem Barons onto your board. There's no, like, it's like Heartsteel used to like scale with stage, or a lot of, cash out traits in the past have scaled with stage. Chem Baron doesn't do that. It's always the same no matter what stage it is, no matter, like, if you're on a 3 loss, you're always getting this exact amount of stacks. It just matters how many Chem Barons you have in, which means getting that 4 and getting that 5 and getting that 6 in is insanely important. It'll be interesting to see how much Setsuko does roll later for looking for like 4 and 5 Chem Baron. Obviously going to save Shimmer here. We're not doing any kind of crazy early cash out strats, but yeah, but even look at that. Look at the pre-level from Setsuko here saying, you know what, I'm going to make, I want to make gold here. I'm still going to make 20 gold. There's no difference pre-leveling versus not pre-leveling, but the big difference here is that I get to pre-level to level 5, gives me potential odds of even finding a Silco and much better odds of finding a Rennie here. Looks like we are going to be on 0 units killed here. Kind of awkward positioning. I think if he had positioned Camille on the left side, he could have picked up a kill there. So maybe actually a little bit of a miss there, but still 71 HP, 5 loss. I don't think Setsuko will be upset about this. This is like a very, very standard 5 loss spot. And, when Setsuko is in a standard spot like this, I think you can be pretty happy because, he knows that he can cap out the board quite highly. He's also, I don't know, he keeps moving around this Chem Baron emblem every single round. I won't say too much towards it. I guess he thinks Powder is a better unit than Camille, even though they did buff Camille in the B patch that came out yesterday, if anyone was watching. I mean, that does look like a TG to me. Also, maybe a red buff, looking at all this kind of stuff that will make some of our other stuff kind of awkward to get through. We get a lot of gold for minions, though, which is very, very nice here. But yeah, I mean, I see stuff like, I guess maybe you go Guardbreaker. The problem if you go something like a red buff, like if you just make all the double items, you just go like red buff TG. I mean, honestly, just like a red buff TG, Warmogs, and And Declaw, I mean, it doesn't actually look that bad here, but we'll see here. Yeah, I mean, he's going to make the red buff, the Warmogs, holding on to the potential Declaw. But I mean, those slams actually look really, really nice here. But okay, continue the loss streak. Obviously, we got to keep losing. 200 is good, but you know, you want to get to at least a 500 stack cash out to feel like you're going to win the game. Sponging, I'm the carry now, quality over quantity. Stuff that gives you more items or that cares about items, not the biggest fan of. Quality over quantity in particular seems really, really bad because you can't turn the perfected items into radiance. And sponging actually, I don't know, I guess it seems interesting, but I feel like you're getting enough items from this cash out. I'm the carry now seems solid. It's a little bit more frontline that you might need. Bronze for life is also interesting. I do feel like oftentimes when you tend to play something like this, you want to play more vertical Chem Baron, especially with the buffs of Chem Baron, like a 6 Chem Baron late game. So I don't know. I think I'm the carry now. Seems pretty reasonable in this spot. Ambusher Crown, actually pretty unfortunate that he fielded that powder because it did give him Ambusher Crown, which he's never taking in a spot like this. But of course, going to continue to save Shimmer here. Okay, so I was asking when will Setsuko roll, and his answer is right now. I'm going to roll on 3-2 at level 6 to dig for my Rennie for my 5 Chem Baron here, because this is really, really big. Quite hard, obviously, to roll for something like a Silco in this spot. So yeah, he's just going to sit on this board for now. Also hold on to the Mundo, who would be a fantastic end later. Also, this is a pretty scary fight. He doesn't win this fight. I think he does. Ooh. Can this Rel actually save him? I don't know that she can. I think this is going to be a win for Setsuko, which would be really, yeah. I mean... I almost want to turn on the audio. I almost want to turn on the audio for this. How is he going to pivot this into a successful game? Because now he's 62 HP, 220 stacks. This is really, really bad. You know, Chem Baron, it doesn't auto cash you out on a win like other traits have in the past. But what it does do on a win, which is really, really bad, is that it resets the fact that you're on a loss streak. Now it's going to be 3 more losses for us to be actually at any kind of loss streak here, which is where you get all the big Chem Baron stacks. So yeah, that's actually a big miss from Setsuko. I didn't, I saw that he played an interesting, made interesting use of Chem Baron in this game, but like I said, I generally scout the game. Okay, that is a Silco on Carousel. So if there were ever something that could bring us back, that would be it. But yeah, I don't always, see these kind of like little minutia that end up happening here, which is crazy. Yeah, dropping the Chem Baron cash out here. I bet he was not happy about that. But okay, we have the Silco here. That's the saving grace here. 6 Chem Baron on 3-5 is fantastic. Obviously, it would be even more fantastic if we were continuing a loss streak here. So it'd be 70 per round here. We would basically get to win the game for free. But Setsuko's making it a little bit interesting. He doesn't want to make the game too free. So I appreciate that. He's playing for the content. So we're gonna sit on this 6 Chem Baron board here. Get some pretty good losses in here. His board's not too bad here. So another okay loss, only 3 units. He's not getting 10 out every fight, which is really important if you're in this spot. 265, 3 losses is gonna be 210. That's barely not enough to get to 500, which is pretty rough. That would leave you with 25 stacks left over, which would be a dub, I guess. So Setsuko's game plan here would be 3 loss into win here to get to 500 stacks, which would be perfect. Only downside to that is, of course, he would need exactly 3 loss into win. If he doesn't get exactly 3 loss into win, his game seems pretty tough. Obviously, he could cash out at 400, which usually is enough to get a significant advantage. The problem is that, you need to never lose another fight, essentially, at that point. So down to 37, I could envision a world 3 loss into win here. He's gonna get his Radiant Blessing. We didn't talk about it at all, but that's another reason why he just potentially, I mean, he probably was going to always insta-pick Chem Baron here, but this is the Mel portal that gives the Radiant Blessing. We did just get a bunch of gold, which is, I mean, it's honestly not amazing for us here because we don't really, this is going to mean that the whole lobby is essentially going to be pivoting 4-1. We don't really want that here. Setsuko's kind of forced to pivot 4-1. I think he would have, preferred to roll more on 4-2 here. Does pick up the Malzahar that's going to go onto the board for now. It's just a Visionary, some extra damage here. Smart pickup on a unit that, I mean, I guess he did get a little bit of a baby buff, so maybe he's back. We'll see what he looks like this game. Also, so many cloaks here. I have to imagine we're going to go for something like an Onyx Spark, maybe an adaptive, maybe probably just Shojin at that point. Onyx Spark, Shojin, and then we'll see from there. This is almost a good loss. Can he kill a little bit more? Yep, 4 unit loss, not bad. Down to 25 HP, that's 400 stacks. I mean, let's see Augment here first. I mean, none of these look very takeable. Big Grab Bag is the best out of all these so far. Blazing Soul actually doesn't look that bad here. I'm actually curious what he takes here. I would think about Blazing Soul actually in a spot like this, but you know, maybe I don't know, maybe I overrate this. Climb the Ladder also doesn't sound bad here. Yeah, with the idea that we're gonna play towards vertical Chem Baron. So he could take this cash out here. Unleash Toxin 2, Shimmer Bloom 2. This is the Hex Armor. It's not great for being 25 HP. It's really, the question is Setsuko confident that he can win? He can lose this next fight and then win the fight after that. Because if he can do that, he can cash out and he'll be in an amazing spot. So that's the question for Setsuko. He is going to say, you know what, I can do it. I can do it. He's going to put the Alawi onto the board saying, you know what, okay, this Malzahar unit's actually not doing enough. We do have the Echo 2. If we find Silco 2, we're not going to have time to make it to Carousel. But, you know, if we can make it to Silco 2, we'll feel good. Also, I mean, this is a small thing, but wow, Setsuko fitting in the random Trundle on this board. It's actually a huge scrap for the Echo and Bruiser onto this board. It's a really smart end that I think a lot of people would have missed. That's a really nice addition, but okay. Lose this fight down to 12 HP. We almost have to hit a Silco 2 or we're dead here. There's a Mundo. There's the Silco 2 though, Setsuko. I mean, you already know he's going to make the Spark like we talked about. He also ended up making Hodge, which is kind of an interesting Sam, but his idea is just be as strong as possible. Ends up getting this Rumble here, which means he can potentially get out of some of this scrap stuff. Going to make the BT, and yeah, he has to make everything here. His goal here has to be to win this fight, and it looks like we're fighting actually a pretty weak Rebel board. Everything 1-star. This is going to be the dub for Setsuko, which puts him at exactly 500 stacks. How does this guy do it? He does it every time. But okay, we're not completely out of the woods yet. A 500 stack cash out. If you guys watched my my Macau co-stream, you saw a lot of people lose games after cashing out 500 stacks. So this does not by any means mean that the game is over right now. There are many ways that we can lose. They have changed a lot of the Chem Baron cash outs here. We get Perfected Unleashed Toxins, two of these Savikas here, so we get 7 Chem Baron in. Perfected Unleashed Toxins, I think statistically, is still, I think, one of the best cash outs. I think maybe the best perfected item. Let me pull up the yeah, I think statistically it's basically tied with Virulent Virus. It's really called Virulent Virus as the best ones. It's got a fantastic average. But not, you know, it's not guaranteed to win. At least it's not guaranteed to win on a Silco right now. And maybe that'll give you a little bit of a hint towards what we're going to be doing later, but we'll see here. Can't imagine that it's Dragon Soul, Kill Streak. I mean, I actually would not be surprised at all if we had taken Kill Streak and thrown it onto Silco there. And instead, I don't know, Setsuko makes a really wild play here. He goes for the Deep Roots onto the Savika here. But yeah, I mean, Kill Streak, especially with the idea that we're playing for this this Virulent Virus here, or the Unleashed Toxins. That's the perfected one. Virulent Virus is just the regular one. It's like you want to be casting a lot, right? The perfected bonus for this one is every time you cast, you launch a wave of Toxin, deals 450 magic damage, and stuns enemies. You see that huge wave that goes across the board? That is the Unleashed Toxins, the perfected version. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't take the on-kill one, but maybe he just doesn't respect that one on this guy, or maybe he really just wants to play for the huge Savika, which we did find 2-star here. While I was looking at stats, I think Setsuko found a Savika too, which is, I mean, absolutely huge on this board. He's looking at some other stuff, but okay, here it is. Here's the tech. Wow, 1-star, and he says it's already good enough to move over. So you might be saying, oh, what the heck's going on here? Why did we just move our perfected item over to a 1-star unit? And I will show you guys the stats on this. So this is perfected Unleashed Toxins. It has fantastic stats, right? Top 4 90% of the time, wins 80% of the time, which for a 500 stack cash out is pretty good. But check out when you go over to items here. When you put this item onto a Silco, you win about 76% of the time. When you put this item onto a Kog'Maw, you top 4 98% of the time and win the game 95% of the time. The idea behind this is, once again, read this. It gives your attacks bonus mana, which is fantastic on somebody like Kog'Maw. It's like a super Shojin on him. And every time you cast, you're launching this wave. Kog'Maw, all he plays for, the entire thing that this unit does is plays for chaining casts. I don't actually know what Biss is here. Maybe we can see from Setsuko here. He's going to go for the Gwinsu here just for the scaling. I wonder if the stats actually agree with that, with the idea that, yeah, let me just do this here and then look at, I mean, there's very little data here. I guess we could drop this down to like the smallest data possible. Nashers. I mean, blue buff does sound kind of gross as well, just to guarantee that you're casting as much as possible. But okay, he's going to go for the Gwinsu here. just, to make that. Going to end up making a Vow, a BT, moving the BT and the Hodge over to Savika, and the spot looks good, but it's a Kog'Maw 1, but look at this Kog'Maw. Cast, 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 and now he's scaling up his attack speed. Every time he casts, he's hitting the entire board. Look at the waves that are going from this. It's such a cool tech with and you can only do this obviously with the emblem. Without it, there's nobody that you can put it. I mean, there's no way you can put an item onto to Kog'Maw. That is a one of these items. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's 5-2. We are just gonna watch this Kog'Maw pop off. I don't actually know if Setsuko wins the game or not. He is in that 95%, like I said, but that does leave a 5%. The meme, it's like 99% something, 1%. Wait, 99% faith, 1% luck, something like that. I don't remember. But I mean, that's Setsuko right here. Also, look at that. I mean, look at the back line here. It's just actually getting chain CC'd. I mean, how long is the stun on this thing again? Let me look back here. Perfected. Oh, I forgot what it's called. Unleash Toxins. It's pretty long, right? Yeah, 1.5 seconds. So, I mean, yeah, if you get this cast off, it's also just kind of disgusting that you think about an item. Just to talk about the stats again, this is an item that averages a 1.61. It has a negative 0.64 delta on Kog'Maw. You're taking something that almost averages a 1 and making it even better, which is just crazy. And I mean, you can see why. Look at this. And it's a Kog'Maw 1. I think the only way that Setsuko can lose a fight is if there's some way Kog'Maw gets assassinated. If there's somebody who has like a Spectral Cutlass that goes to backline and just kills Kog'Maw. If there is some kind of unit that can get that backline access, because this is still a Kog'Maw 1. His biggest priority at this point is keeping Kog'Maw alive. Like a Victor would actually be really annoying for this board just because he could potentially almost kill this Kog'Maw, though. Honestly, getting enough autos to get rid of the Kog'Maw, it might, a Victor might not make it that far into the fight. We have the Sterax here, which I have to imagine the idea is that he wants it on Savika later, but he just doesn't have the remover yet. So for now, he's gonna, not do much with it. Still actually, interestingly, playing onto the Trundle, this board, because he had to kind of get rid of the other scrap that we were playing in the Echo. But oh my god, it's just so cool to watch this Kog'Maw just cast. Like, he's actually just, the mana bar is staying full, and he's just spam casting every single round because he's auto attacking so fast. I wonder, it's kind of interesting because like Kog'Maw cast, he doesn't really he doesn't mana lock himself at all when he casts. He just casts and he buffs himself. What's kind of interesting is like this wave that spreads out. It's almost like a cast. If there were a unit that would do that kind of wave as their ability, they would be mana locked while that wave is moving. Usually. What happens here is he casts, basically self buffs himself, and he can get multiple of these waves out, which just mean he's chain CCing the entire enemy backline, which is just so funny. I mean, this is like units like this that have this setup. It just like there's lesser. I wonder if there's ever an idea to take lesser shimmer duplicator here. It is so much HP. Well, it's 220 HP still. He does end up taking it here because like you could actually use this shimmer duplicator. I believe. I'm not actually sure. Can you use this to duplicate a Kog'Maw if it has an emblem on it? I would think you could, but I guess I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, because I think he's rolling down here. I mean, mostly for Kog'Maw too at this point. I don't think there's that much else. Mel is obviously a fantastic addition onto this board. The question is, where do we fit here? I mean, maybe it becomes time to get rid of scrap. Okay, you can actually duplicate that. I didn't know. Okay, cool. And he does actually at the last second move items over. Yeah, actually really, really nice from Setsuko. Once again, he's 1 HP. So if he messes up this transition for a second, accidentally like pops an item off of Kog'Maw somehow, he could very easily lose the game. So just goes to show. Also, so Setsuko has the idea right now that he's going to play the Trundle instead of the Mel here. I have to imagine that that's just a mistake at this point in the game, though. I mean, maybe his idea is that Mel is actually still, he's thinking about it. I can't imagine that Bruiser and Scrap here is better, especially because you're not even scrapping an item here. But I think his idea might be that, he's not going to get Mel to those 12 casts quickly enough, so she's not going to provide him that extra life that you would really want. Like, this game might be over before she casts 12 times, especially with how much damage that this Kog'Maw is doing, man. Just Kog'Maw 2 mopping up the entire lobby. It's so cool to see in this board. Like, it's just, I don't know. I've not gotten a chance to play this before, but I'm going to be looking out for this every time I take a Chem Baron +1 from now, because this is just, like I said, 95% win rate, the top 4%, 98.9. 1 in 100 people don't top 4 with this, which is, if you're one of those people, I'm so sorry, who they put it on their Kog'Maw, they get sniped by something, and you end up losing the fight. That is an absolute tragedy here. Yeah, I mean, not much to be done. That player just FFs, and it's an easy first from Setsuko. So hope you guys enjoyed this this VOD review, this really cool tech. You know, if you get the spot for it in your games, let me know how it goes. I would say you'll top 4 most of the time and win most of the time. But yeah, thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.